The studio today. I have a special episode here at Worship the King, and it's going to be, I was going to do my live mix critique of our band this week, but then I started looking at all the past live streams and thought, you know what? I'm going to go back to the very, very first live stream we ever did at the beginning of the pandemic, and then I'm going to walk you through just a few of the services as we go on. It looks like we have been live streaming, and I'm going to show you my screen today. It looks like we started live streaming and have been live streaming from about a year ago, and this was March 22nd. So March, April, May, June, July. So a year and a half. So this is 1 year and a half ago was our first service, March 15th, 2020, and so I'm going to go through this. This is going to be interesting, especially for you guys on my team. So if you're on my team at the church at Spring Hill, then of course you're gonna love this. And I'm going to talk a little bit about. I've been there from the beginning of our first live stream. Actually, I wasn't at the very, very first live stream, which is right here. This was Jess just put this together in his office, and then the next week, Jeremy, one of our guy who helped us actually build the live stream, said, "Hey, I think we can do something different." And then I have about 8 tabs open, so I'm going to take you through this little bit of a journey here in the studio today, and then later tomorrow I'll critique the week from this week. It was a pretty good week. I wanted to do this because we have added so much. We started from just 2 guys sitting in an office on a Mac computer, and that's what I'm going to show you. You'll get to see, and those of you who are kind of looking at live streaming at your church, you'll get to see as we go through what we did with tech. So I am going to get a little technical in this video, so you'll see what we did each step of the way to get better and better. We're going to end on this last Sunday, and 2 Sundays before, which I think we reached like another level of excellence, which myself and Robbie and the team are really happy about. So I'm just gonna document this. This is the journal of the beginning of our live stream, and so you guys are all on. This is Pastor Jess.
There's no place I'd rather be than Sunday morning with my church family. I know that this is probably a little bit different. Again, I know there's a bunch of people logging on, and so I want you guys to hear this, right? There is no place I would rather be than anywhere with my church family.
All right, so before I keep going, links are in the description for this, and you can follow us. I'd encourage you to follow the Church at Spring Hill on Facebook and on YouTube. The links for our Facebook page are in the description of the video. We also are on YouTube. But we are doing this. This is him. So this is basically, they opened up a Mac computer, they put up a ring light, and then they did this, and you can kind of tell that they're doing it on a Mac computer with a ring light. You can kind of hear the audio. And so, and that was the first live stream that I ever went to for our church. I do actually remember watching this live stream, so that's pretty interesting. I wasn't there for that one. And then I think that this one I wasn't there for either. I think they just put up a microphone. I'm going to assume they did this the next week. They said, let's do it in the, we were moving buildings. I said, let's do this. So this is a couple acoustic guitars. Shout out to Matt and Robbie there, and we'll see what this sounds like.
Sing this together. Jesus' name will break every stronghold. Jesus' name will break every stronghold. Freedom is ours when we call His name.
All right, so we've got this. This is definitely being recorded through, I think, the Mac, probably MacBook sitting there. You can tell that the noise suppression is on because you hear that weird sound. But the cameras were really good on this one. I know Jeremy was like using a couple cameras, and I was like making some different angles. Like, oh man, that's cool. So Jeremy kind of pioneered our video segment, and I was kind of pioneering the audio, and we'll get into that as we go forward. But this, you can tell he's got the angles going. I like those angles. Those are good. Those are good angles. And the audio is a little bit torn up there because of probably they just stuck a computer in front of it or a microphone. And then, like I talked about in my video this morning, noise suppression, all these programs will put that on like you're on a Zoom call. They're trying to block out background noise. That destroys the mix of your, no matter how good your mix is, it'll turn it into warble mess. So live streaming is hard, and it was a journey that I went on to the very beginning with my team when this happened. So we learned a lot along the way, And so this was one of those weeks they just did acoustic. Let's bop up to March. Let's bop up into... Now, this one is... I just put this on here just because I just wanted to listen to this for a minute. But this is a living room session on Good Friday. So this is probably, again, just one microphone kind of stuck over 2 acoustic players. And I think in your live stream, if you're struggling getting like really good sound and audio and like production, you could do simple worship in the front of your live stream like this. This is actually pretty good. Just a simple acoustic stuff, but it's no mixing. We had not pulled out the mixing console yet on this, so. Now, I think this session, it's just all worship and talking, so we won't go into the sermon on that. All right, so a couple weeks later, getting motivated, and we got some new lights, and I still, for some reason, I feel like I wasn't here for this part. I don't think I joined in with the audio until I'll show you. But in this, I think, again, this was still just a microphone over. They put some lights in. We were going forward, and I'll show you the sermon on this one too.
Kings and kingdoms will bow down, and every chain will break. His broken hearts declare His praise. Who can stop the Lord Almighty? Our God is.
Okay, so you can hear this audio they just did. I think just one mic head over, and let's listen to this. This is this would be very low-tech audio production, maybe one microphone, maybe it was the camera microphone even. I'm not even sure.
Church family, our plans have changed. Some have changed, not so much. Maybe you're doing new rhythms of life, but I know some of you all, this season of life has caused some pretty drastic changes in your life. The question I want us to look at as we look at God's Word this morning is, what do we do
Oh, look at that fanciness.
when the plans we make change? Where do we go when the things we thought were supposed to happen?
So Jeremy, our live video tech, he was doing some really cool video stuff in this early time. He was making intros, and in fact, he has this intro here. He has playing music, I think. So he did a countdown from the beginning. So some of that cool kind of technical stuff was being done on the video side. And then we get into April 12th. I still, this is just still overhead mics. Let's see. Oh wow! So we got fancy here. We got some lyrics on the screen. This is a really cool, progression. So we got some lyrics on the screen. I don't know if we have 2 angles. I think he's still just on one angle, and I'm assuming he's still just got like a microphone, maybe a shotgun microphone over top, going into. I think he had a Zoom, an H4 or an H2 recorder. So I'm sure he was using that. Now that I think back, that's probably what he's using here in some of these open. The audio on the sermon on the last video is pretty good. So if you really have almost no equipment, and you're smart, you can do this. You can do. Jeremy edited all this post-production, so this wasn't technically live, but we did stream it. But I don't think that this was technically live. I think these were all pre-recorded, pre-done, and then they were done. Then they were set up. He put them out afterwards. Okay, so that's a little bit of a difference. Okay, and I think we did that up until, I'll let you know as we're going through. I'll let you know when we switched over. So we're still post-production mixing. He's doing video editing, doing very simple audio overhead, and really for a small church that doesn't have a big tech team, this is the way I would do it. I would just pre-record everything and put it together. If you want really high quality, then that's what I would do. So let's. Okay, so let's look at the sermon. I want to check the sermon on this one. Is there a sermon? Okay.
Here and now, you will begin to know what it means to live out your life like it's been changed by Jesus. That's my prayer this morning as we look at God's Word. And I encourage you to open up your Bibles to 1 Corinthians 15.
This is extremely good lighting, extremely average good sound. Like, acceptable audio. Acceptable audio. It's not all. It's not bad. It's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. But the lighting, the video, the whole thing is really good here. And this is what I think even for small churches to focus on. It doesn't matter that it's not, like super crisp audio, or it wasn't like really recorded. There's different ways you can record the audio. This one is good. This is good.
Listen, you have to understand that.
I do kind of like the audio of the band in this simple scenario because it kind of feels like you're in the room with them. So it's good. But we're going to keep going until we get to some of these more. So then I'm going to take a big leap here. So from April 12th to May 30th, so about a month, and I didn't go through every one of these. You guys can go through our whole YouTube, Facebook page and look at every one of these. Now, this is where we set up a little bit differently. This is where the audio team entered the picture. That was me. We took all of our gear because we had torn our church apart. We'd moved buildings. We took all the gear out of storage and we set it up in the middle of a warehouse, which is what our church is. And then we ran all of our mics into the X32. There was no live house thing. And this is several weeks in. I had figured out microphones were kind of everything was sounding really dry, and it was really hard to get a good mix. So we worked on microphones. We worked on just overall stuff. Now the band can't hear anything. They're all just playing and singing in a room like they're a garage band. Technically, this was like a garage band because we were in a ginormous garage, like an 8-bay garage, maybe like 10 bays. Anyway, it's a huge garage. All right, let's hear what it sounds like. I haven't heard this one yet.
I saw Satan fall like lightning. I saw darkness run for cover. But the miracle that I just can't get over, my name is registered in heaven. I believe in signs and wonders.
So this is a huge step up in the audio quality because we actually got a bunch of gear out, plugged it in. The video quality is good too. Let's go to full screen. Listen to some of this. We were mixing live, so this was just I was in headphones, the band was there, and that we sort of worked this out more like an actual church service. So it was, and I'm not sure. I don't think this was live streamed yet either. So this was not live streamed. This was pre-recorded.
I have resurrection power. Still the miracle that I just can't get over. My name is registered in heaven.
All right, so this is good, man. I love doing this. I love doing this just because this was dead end pandemic. Everybody was like shut in, afraid to go outside, and I was like, I never did that. I just kept going, and we just got together in a small group, and I just went into that whole like shut down, never see anybody again kind of thing. So this was like this recording, this kept me going during that time when everybody was freaking out. I was just head down in the mixing console, working on the setup each week, and it was like it kind of saved my emotions. So I'm kind of like that. I'll just get right in and dig right into something. Let's see what we got. See, I use these little microphone. That sounded good right there. That sounds real good.
I can hardly think as you call me, deeper still as you call me, deeper still as you call me, deeper still into love, love, love. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are, and I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am.
All right, good. So I lost the. Let's see.
It's who you are. It's who you are.
I lost my
It's who you are.
screen. Now I gotta find that.
I'm loved by you.
See, where are you?
I am. It's who I am.
There we go.
It's who I am.
Okay, so there for a minute I lost my I'm gonna keep it out of full screen. So these got really good vocal tone.
You unravel me.
We were using pop filters. It's kind of like a live recording. That sounds good too.
You surround me with a song of deliverance
This is when I found out
from my enemies.
that the CAD 95 mic sounds really good on like live stream. The CAD 95, it's a hypercardioid condenser handheld.
I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God.
That's Derek, and yeah. I struggled with Derek's voice in regular open mics. He's got a really big, bassy voice, and coming through live stream, it would be muddy a lot. So we worked on our team individually, each person, each thing, all this whole time. We just kept tweaking and tweaking and tweaking, and that has brought us into where we're at now. Just that continual tweaking, listening, trying to personalize each.
Mother's womb. You have chosen me. Love has called my name.
See, on this we had an overhead on the drums. I think a snare mic. We had some mics on this stuff, you know.
Your family, your blood flows through my veins. I'm no longer a slave to fear.
So I will tell you why they're playing. This was not live streamed, but it was one take production. There was no remixing. So this is a mix on the fly. So it doesn't apply to your church right now unless you don't want to live stream and you want to pre-produce. So what we did, we had the band play. We did the production mix on the fly. So I was sitting over on the side with headphones on the X32 mixing, and it was live, pretty much for me. Then we went to post-production, not with the mix, but with the video. And Jeremy worked out the different camera angles and things like that in post-production. Okay, so there is this was a fun time because it was like whatever happened that day happened. That was it. They couldn't go back and fix a vocal. This is real old school band playing, right? Okay, so then let's go over here. We got I think we got in person. So this was maybe not our first in person, but this is by June. We're in person, and I'm going to say this might actually be when we actually live streamed, when we actually started live streaming. And I believe we were just using OBS. We were going to Facebook, just straight into Facebook Live. And here, let's see what happened here. We've got a countdown.
The veil tore before.
Now, I'm going to say that by about now, we did have issues. See, look, there's no audio. So that it's live now, baby, because there ain't no audio. Basically, what we have is we have somehow in here we are mixing through probably Logic, and we are mixing. So we have a front of house mixer and a Logic mixer, and we didn't have a big team right here. So I think I was doing both. I think I was listening to Logic and just setting up a stream. Here's what we got. Let's see if the audio can come on here. Let's see if we can turn it on.
As a church,
Here we go.
You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn graves into gardens.
I can't believe.
Into armies. You turn seas into highways.
There's overloading going on here. I don't know because it was a while ago. I'm not sure. Maybe we were coming off an aux on the board. I did do that for a few weeks. I didn't want to do that very much. It was June. It was.
Will you stand and worship with us? To reveal the kingdom coming and to reconcile the lost, to redeem the whole creation.
So I can't be totally sure what's happening here. I don't know how I mixed that day. But in this era, we were between mixing on the auxes on the X32, also mixing on Logic. We were mixing on Logic, and we we had a couple guys coming and going. So one week there might be where they did Logic. The next week they might have mixed off the bus. I went on vacation in August, so I'm not even going to look at those. I'm just going to go to this one. So anyway, this is what we have here. We have the full stage. We're starting to move into Logic. We're starting to get decent sound, but everything we did mattered. Every little tweak changed something. So then we get to Easter service, and this is well in there. So this is too far. June 2020 to, I mean, this is really way too far. Let me go. I like this video. I think it's going well. So let's go into June. Let's do like maybe July. I'm gonna bust up here to, I don't know. It doesn't really tell me what days it was. Oh, November 8th, 2020, June. Okay, so in November. Yeah, let's do this one. Let's do November. Oh, I don't even know if this one has audio. Okay, so this is pretty low volume. So what they doing there? So this is 1 week I was leading. We're definitely on Logic by now. We're definitely trying to work as hard as we can to make the sound as good as we can. Probably my wife Emily was mixing Logic this week, and I can tell you that for sure. Probably. Let's see. Let's see if we.
Finally,
Let's see if we got here.
amen and amen. You guys can have one.
Let's see. Okay, this is a messy mix here. Let's do this one. I'm trying to find out who's standing back there on bass. Is that Ken? I don't know. Anyway, now I'm going. It's interesting. I can't.
God, I pray for
But we'll listen to
that
this
heart
sermon here.
that soul perspective. That even in the hardest of times, we can look to you and say, God, you got this. I trust you. And that we can take this hope out to a world that's desperate.
Yeah, decent. I want you to look at this and notice
Election.
our camera quality
And two of the
is very blurry, and our lighting is kind of low, and you're going to see it change here as we go. Let's let me see. We're going to go all the way back to Easter. So we're just going to move along. This was a big service. Look how much clearer our camera quality is, and the next couple weeks it gets really clear.
It was my turn till I met you.
Okay, so we got Tommy on guitar. I played piano this week. This is Easter. This is a great live service. It's a little noisy in the live stream, but let's hear what we think it sounds like.
All my failures I tried to hide. It was my turn.
Now, right now, Robbie's on this CAD 95 mic. It's a very clean, clear microphone. And also, I think we might be running tracks by this point. I think there are tracks on here.
And I ran out of that grave, out of the darkness, into your glorious day. You called my name, and I ran out of that grave.
Very clean vocals. I mean, I'm really happy with how we've dialed in our vocals. We're changing them a little bit now. The tracks have really brightened stuff up. Our lighting got better here, so our camera quality got better. We didn't change cameras. That's the thing. We didn't really change cameras. We just got better lighting, and so you can tell a difference between that. So that did make a big difference. And we got Tommy back there, who's touring with Cody James. I mean, he's a phenomenal guitar player. So it sounds like we have a track, but it could just be that we have Tommy this week. 2 electrics.
Just when I met you, yeah, you called my name, and I ran out of that grave, out
we've got a really hot band this week, and we've just been tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. Let's listen to the sermon just to see that and listen to that quality.
That is true. The claim that Jesus rose from the dead, then it changes everything. And here's your spoiler. Jesus rose from the dead, and it changed everything. Everything is different because he has done so.
Yeah,
My
we have
question to
overlay
you
now.
this morning.
All of
The
this we're
question-
doing from OBS, and probably by now we're using Restream and OBS. We're using Logic Pro X. These charts of our setup are in the description of my video, so you'll see the charts of everything that we're doing. By this time we're using full out. We have 4 people in our booth mixing, doing some video, some audio, and then let's go on to August 8th. Now this is probably one of our best sounding live stream mixes that we've had to date, August 8th, and even to date, because we had a couple weeks after this and we haven't achieved this yet, and I cannot remember who's mixing this live stream. I think it was John McCann. Anyway, the guitar tones, I got to play electric this week. The guitar tones are killer. Everything sounds so good, and we've kind of reached in our audio production, we're using tracks. Michael's on keys, so we're kind of like layering up. We have tracks, they're fully in. We have some just really good tones going on here. So let's listen to this. I'll listen to this for a while. Yeah, this is a really tight mix, a really good mix. I think McCann mixed this, but every element of this is pretty clean. Vocals are really tight. The background vocals are really on point. It just has a good overall tone to it. And the guitar tones were great. I mean, I'm not saying that just because they're my tones, but they just came through the live stream so clear. They're not always like that.
To support our hearts.
I don't know what that green thing is.
Thank you so much for joining us in worship. My name is Jess Rayner.
I do.
Pastor here. I'm going to encourage you at some point, if this is your first or 100th time, to grab this connect card.
It's very clean. Yeah. So this is a good. This goes back. So you have seen the progression from just sitting in an office with a MacBook all the way through the progression of our live stream journey up until August 25th. And I'll show you the last week I have here. So we had one more week. This is August 22nd, and then this is August 22nd. So this one is, and this is sort of a mix. We have been training our youth band, and this will be I better turn that off. Okay, turn this one off. We've been training our youth team to run. So this is one of our youth running live stream. Think of it. He's like 15. He's probably like 15. I guess he's like 15. I'm not really sure. I hope I didn't close that up. Did I close that up? Okay, well, okay, no, I didn't. Okay, so this is a week I led worship this past week. It was my birthday, August 22nd. Happy birthday to me, and happy birthday I got to play and lead worship. And then Michael's on front of house. His son is on live stream. And this is what we're doing. We've got a system now sort of so we can train. We get it set up. You know, some of our live stream mixers don't know everything about Logic, but they get the idea. In a few sessions, they can learn, okay, I move this around. So we set it up. Some of our producer guys set up the mix, and then our live stream mixers just like level out the vocals, turn up guitar solos, stuff like that. And then, you know, so it's a really good team thing. And it's also allowed us to get a lot of our youth that are under 16 years old in our booth running our stuff. So it's pretty phenomenal. Let's listen to this just because this will be our last one. And this was the latest one. This was last week. Okay.
We worship the God who is. We worship the God who evermore will be. He opened the prison doors. He parted the raging sea. My God, He holds the victory. Yeah, there's joy in the house of the Lord. There's joy.
All right, so this is a couple new things happened this week, so I'll highlight these. This is an SM7B. I got a couple of these on a really killer deal on eBay, so I pulled them in. I'm not sure I like this microphone live. I'm not sure yet, but we were also running tracks, so that was good. It was really easy to do.
We shout out your praise.
I'll also tell you these two kids, like this is Holly. I call her a kid. She was in the youth group when I came here 3 years ago. She's now in the college group. She's playing bass. Well, that's me. Let's get off me here. Let's see. And then we got the other one, Maddox. He is actually our youth band drummer, and he's playing drums, and his dad's on keys. So we are pulling in. A massive amount of our youth. So we got Maddox on drums here, and then we got Holly on bass, and obviously Maddie's always there. She's still kind of young, but she's not a youth kid. And then we got a dad and a son. We got a couple good dad and son teams. So anyway, what I'm trying to say in this is that our youth band is becoming our big band, and that's part of the core training and worship band builder is intentional, continual, and intentional training always. And that's what I've been doing for the last 3 years at our church, even though I've been working with the main team, working with the sound and doing some minor worship leading, filling in stuff like that. I've been mostly working with the youth band, and it's kind of paying off now in this third year because some of our youth band players who were in the youth band when we didn't have a youth band, when I came. So it was just me and a couple of the kids that started playing, and that's what I've been consistently doing. And then now we've got some of our youth band. Now, the thing is sometimes they graduate, from youth band. So Holly doesn't really play she might play in the youth band like once every 2 months. So it is kind of sad. Some of them go on to bigger things, but isn't that what they're supposed to do, I guess? Anyway, but Maddox still plays every week, but Maddox is getting ready to go to college. So, this is interesting because Maddox will go to college and then we'll need a new drummer. And so that's why in the worship band builder training, I'm always saying continual and intentional training is the key to building a good team. Because in this team right here, yes, we have a big band team. Yes, we have some professional producers and we have some, the highest level musicians in our church. Just being in Nashville, we've attracted some of that just by location of being there. But also, we are continually and intentionally training younger people. And in our booth, like I said, two I think this week we had 2 youth in our booth, 2 under 15-year-olds in our booth, and we had 2 of our youth band members on stage. So what did that is just a continual and intentional method to getting more people involved. And these young kids are kind of fun because they're really talented. They don't have as much polish maybe when they start, but now Maddox is one of our best drummers. Holly is one of our best bass players, and they're really talented from the beginning. So if you just put a little bit of effort and training into them, a little bit of production, a little bit of say mentorship into them as musicians, then they come out going like, oh my gosh, they're really good. And then like the main worship team wants them all the time, and then they don't want to play in youth group anymore. No, they can't play in youth group. They go to college and then they grow up, stuff like that. So whatever. But that's really, for me, this week is also really great because I had 2 of my former youth band members up there with me. And 3 years ago, I remember when we started, I knew that day was coming. I had that feeling like our youth band's going to be good. It's going to be really good. And we're going to play in the big service. We're going to play at a big church someday, and it just kind of organically happened, but we didn't have youth on our stage up until this transition. So there's a way to get them up there, also at a high level. Hey, if you want links to any of my things, they're right here in the description. I have links in the description for a lot of the stuff. But the gear, I have worshipbandbuilder.com/gear, worshipbandbuilder.com. You can just go there. You can check out the gear that I have. You can check out, if you go to worshiptheking.com/tech, you can get a lot of the downloads that show you how we set up our system. So we're continually tweaking. It doesn't matter. We're going to tweak. I've got some brothers in tweaking right now. Some of my guys that have joined the team are exactly like me. They want to tweak everything all the time. So we're just trying to get each, trying to layer up and say what's next. Like this week, we're pinking out our room for the first time since I've been here in this new room, noticing that our room sounds kind of bright and harsh, and I think we're almost there. So we got it pinked out a little bit. Maybe it was set up. We had a guy set up our system, and we're thinking he might have pinked it, but we're not really sure. And we do know that there's some inconsistencies in the EQ in our room. We're in a long, like 150-foot garage with garage doors on one side, big, huge bays. It's really tall ceilings, concrete floors. So we're fighting with. Last week we built this drum cage, which I'll have a video coming out on the drum cage in a couple months, maybe a month, a couple weeks. I don't know. Anyway, it was a couple $100. We put this drum cage together, and it really changed everything. So we're constantly working on this and training and building. And I think you have to do that. Do you want help with that? You can go to worshipbandbuilder.com. You can check out that. I have a lot of the stuff I'm doing with my team is actually on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. And then I'd invite you to follow the church at Spring Hill right here, because you can see that just in 1 year, 18 months, basically, we've went from sitting at a desk with a Mac computer, first live stream ever. We've gone from that to full cameras, multi-angles. We're streaming to multiple platforms at once. You can watch us live simultaneously on YouTube and on Facebook. And we could go more. We could go Twitch. We could go to the different platforms. But we're just in Facebook and YouTube simultaneously. And we're doing this with all volunteer staff. We have very, very few paid staff. In fact, we just brought our worship pastor on full-time. But everybody else on our team, on our tech team and our band and everything, is complete volunteer. So it can be done. And it can be done well with excellence. I mean, I'm watching it happen right now, and I'm like, oh, yeah. But it can be fun, too. I'm having a lot of fun. Well, anyway, you got to do something with your life, right? If you don't do this, what are you going to do? You're just going to sit around and worry about coronavirus all the time, or, sit at your house by yourself, watch Netflix or something like that. You could do that. That would be interesting. And you can maybe do that at night. Or you could just get on a team, get dedicated, get involved, get motivated, get to the point where, you're not really happy until it's just you're just involved in something that's bigger than you. You can't do this by yourself. This is like, and you can't play football when you're old like me. So you can't be on a football team anymore. They'll break your arm and you'll be in the bed just Anyway, so it's a thing that you can do. If you're thinking about getting involved in your tech team, if you're a worship pastor and you're thinking, man, I wish I could get my team just kind of oiled up like this and working, let me know. because Worship Band Builder, we're coming out with new videos all the time. We're here to help. Basically, you can just follow along with what we're doing, and hopefully you can get some insight, some inspiration, and move forward, because this pandemic keeps coming and going. People keep shutting and opening, and you know what? I'm just going to keep pressing on. So thanks for watching this video. It's a long one today, long live stream. I didn't even look and see if anybody was chatting, but you can chat with me. You can also go here. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, Worship the King Music at youtube.com/worshiptheking music. God bless you guys, and follow us in the link in the description, the church at Spring Hill. I'll see you.